Well, life in a new league for me in the ACC. I thought for a stretch our guys were rolling. Thought we were playing well. The run that we had to end the half, and then carried over. And then you give Boston College credit; they changed their defenses, and we obviously didn't handle it very well, and it became a tight game down the stretch. But at the same time, I give our guys credit for being able to withstand a heck of a push and a heck of a run by BC, and still have the fortitude and calm enough nerves, if you will, to make a few shots and get a few stops in that last 4-minute war.
Coach, when they made their run there at about the, I guess it was about the 7.5, 8 minute mark, was the situation where you felt your players were maybe playing the clock a little bit and slowing down the aggressiveness?
No, I think we talked about attacking versus their three-quarter court press. We had a few guys in that hadn't played a whole lot up to that point. That's what got the run going, was our indecisiveness, and we didn't attack. And that sort of spilled over to the guys that started the game as well. And fortunately, we were able to sort of break out of it. But, we have to be better. You're always in a tough situation. You have 23, 24. This isn't the NBA. But you want to run clock, but you also want to be able to get an efficient offensive possession, get a good look. We didn't always get that. We turned the ball over and got rattled a few times versus their pressure. And then they got a little bit of momentum, and Chapman hit a couple shots that were tough. But again, like I always say, every experience has to be one that we learn from. We got to be better against three-quarter court stuff, and then quickly be able to flow into whatever we're running half court wise.
Offensively, it seemed like all 5 guys were playing downhill tonight, especially early. CC was being aggressive, even though he didn't have a big scoring game. But when all 5 guys on the court are really attacking, how much better does that make your offense?
Well, it starts with him. He's the floor general. He goes 8 assists, 1 turnover. He gets in the lane. He finds guys. Obviously, Jordan played as good of an offensive game as I've seen from a guy. And I've had some really talented offensive players. I thought there were a few times where he made the one more pass, as we like to call them, which is not really a one more, it's the right one. And got Quan a couple open looks because he was willing to make the right play. And I think our team in general plays that way. Our inefficiency on offense had nothing to do with taking bad shots or not passing to one another. They gave us a look that we hadn't really seen, and we didn't handle it very well. We need to be a balanced team. We got to get a little bit more from Steven than we did tonight. We got to be a team that can score inside. We got to be a team that can do it from the outside as well.
Obviously, he's making shots. That's a big factor in this. What was Jordan doing tonight to find looks and convert them?
I want to talk about Jordan's defense. First and foremost, I think everybody recognizes what a talented player he is on the offensive end. He's got so much confidence in his individual game, but I think he's finding his shots within the flow of team concept, which good players do. But on the defensive end, he got switched onto Kai Bowman more than a handful of times, and I don't think Bowman ever went around him to the point where it was an uncontested layup. And as I told him, he's played marginal players a heck of a lot worse than that. Guys that maybe average 5-6 points a game that go right down the lane and score on him. And I didn't see that tonight. He was also a big part of our help defense because he wasn't necessarily guarding one of their primary scorers. And I thought he did a really good job of recognizing when to help on the 5-man rolling. His closeouts kept the ball in front, and really, really pleased with how he played defensively. Offensively, I just felt like he let the game come to him. I mentioned before he made a couple extra passes to open teammates, and that's what good teams do. The ball finds the open man.
Chris, following up on that, you did not use the word casual to describe him tonight. How much has he raised his stock in recent weeks, and do you think he's turned a corner defensively?
Well, I think the last 2 games, Tim, he's played as well as he has defensively all year. But as I tell our team all the time, not just Jordan, you're judged on next practice, next game, next drill. That's what the great players do. That's what the good teams do. Anybody can have it for a day or 2. He has to continue to be a guy we really depend on defensively. Because if one player on our team breaks down, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Enoch, whether it's CC, then we're getting scored on. And with our team, we have to be a team that values that end of the floor and gets stops, like we have really the last 2 games. I know Boston College gets 70, but a lot of those were in transition off our miscues there for a while in the press.
Coach, you mentioned Jordan's defense, and kind of goes back to that sequence where he got the block on the fast break, and then Malik got a few putbacks. Do you feel like this was just one of those games where the guys were a little more active?
Well, I think that we've been, hopefully we learned a tough lesson at Pitt. I just felt like Pitt played a heck of a lot harder than our team. And you can throw the names out, pass records, who's coaching. A team that has the hungrier disposition on any given night is going to put themselves in position to win. And I just felt like our mindset versus Pitt's mindset were at 2 very different levels. And I don't think that's been the case these last 2 games. And we have to continue that. And with success, people pat you on the butt, compliment you, like, wow, what a game, coach. I can imagine our guys are hearing it on campus 50 times more than I am, because I just sit in my office and watch film anyway. But they have to maintain that hunger, and they have to play with that on the defensive end.
Coach, Dwayne gets another double-double for you guys. Obviously, he had that big rebound on the offensive end in the last minute. But what is the ceiling for him as he progresses through this season?
He's just a jack of all trades. I don't think anybody'd call him elite in any one area, except as a competitor. He just gets the job done. He finds loose balls. He makes the right play. Hits big shots. Does anything for his team to win. And I'm not smart enough to know ceiling. I just know that if you want a guy on your team who's going to care about winning, you can't find one that cares more about that than Dwayne.
Any update on Ryan and what happened on that play?
They landed on his lower leg. I don't think it's anything too concerning. He was asking Fred, hey, can I practice tomorrow? So that's always a good sign. So other than that, I really don't know a whole lot. I haven't talked to Ryan. I talked to Fred, and he felt like, he should be okay. But as you know, any injuries, you got to see what happens over a good night's sleep.
Anything else, Coach?
There was one sequence in the second half where you were told to stop in exchange with the ref. You said same back to him. What was it? Have you gotten to the point where there's been a lot of conversation about officiating this year? Has it gotten frustrating at times with inconsistency, or where do you?
That's not a new phenomenon. Coaches don't like referees. Referees don't like coaches. It's funny because in the handshake lines, I say, "Hey, how are you? Good to see you." And then 4 minutes later, we're all yelling at each other. So those guys did a good job. I'm just trying to win a game. I don't take anything personal, except one referee. I don't take anything personal. I had a guy apologize to me about 4 or 5 games ago. He said he missed a call, and I said, I don't even remember you refereeing the game. I don't. I know all those guys' names, but I don't keep a running diary of who called what and where. Although I heard Bob McKillop does that.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.